All right, today we started composition of functions and finding their domains. So we're going to start with the composition. All right, here we go. You don't need to write the next slide. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Okay, don't write this down, but we're going to talk about this. So this is the way, so to say these two things, you can write this down. We're going to do it on the next slide, so this will be on the next slide. But what we're going to be doing is, so before we composite, with operations, we would see something that would say like G plus F of X, right? And then that would be find G of X plus F of X. So this is going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be really important that we notice that this is an open circle and it's actually going to stand for of. So I want you to write the bold. You don't necessarily need to write what the meaning of regressing is, but do the bold and then do these two things. And the way that you read this one is these two things mean the exact same thing. So the things in the blue and then the things in the orange. So it's F of G of X. That's how you say it. F of G of X. F of G of X. This one would be G of F of X. And G of F of X. I probably should have written out of right here. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to find, well, I'm just going to do it right here. We're going to find our input, G of X, find that input, and replace it, and put it, whatever that is, inside of F. And we're going to do this notation as well. So we're going to find what this is first, and then put that answer inside of F. So a lot of students get this a little mixed up, but I want to make sure that we go through this pretty slowly. So go ahead and hit pause to get the rest of this in. All right, so what I'd like you to do is hit pause. I'd like you to put in the table. So remember when you're putting in a table, you just draw a line and a T-bar, and this is X, F of X, this is G of X. So make sure you have your two different tables, and we're going to go through that. But make sure you hit pause and go through that. Okay, so go ahead and get these in your notes and hit pause. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find G of 8. So G of 8 is equal to, so we got to find our G function, which is right here. And when my input is 8, my output is 4. So that equals, oops, there we go, 4. Now, we're going to take that, and we're going to put it inside. Let's see if I can do this. We're going to drop down the F, and we're going to put our new input. We're going to put that 4 in, because that's what the output is. We're going to put it right there. So then, we get, when F is 4, we get, when my input is 4, my output is 0. So that is my answer. So F of G of 8 is equal to 0. Okay? We're going to do the same thing for B. So, let's see if I can do this without knocking everything down. We're going to find G of 3 first. So G of 3 is equal to, well, here's G, here's 3, so it's negative 4. I'm going to put that, let's just put it right here, and then I'm going to put, drop the F down, so we have F of negative 4 is equal to 1. So this whole thing equals 1. Then we do the same thing. So this is the other notation with the open O. That stands for of. Golf is One of the things that students mix this up with is multiplication. It is not. These are compositions. So we're going to find f of negative 3, because it's the closest to the input. So f of negative 3 is 2. Put that 2. 2 goes inside of g. I'll just write it right here. And we bring the g down. We get g of 2. G of 2 is negative 5. So this equals negative 5. Okay? So now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to find f of 4. So again, we're going back and forth. F of 4. F of 4 is 0. Have you found that? We put that 0 in G. And that's 2. So this equals 2. Alright, so that's how you do it with a table. Now we're going to do it with a graph. So I'd like you to hit pause, put this graph in. It did take students a little bit of time to put it in, so go ahead and hit pause and put it in. Alright. So again, we're going to find f of 1. So the biggest thing here is to notice that my f function right here is these points right here that are all connected, and my g function is right there. So so this says we go down and we find where f is 1, which is right here, which means my x is 1, my y is negative 1. So f of 1 is equal to negative 1. I'm going to stick that in G. Okay, so we're going to bring, I'm writing it up here because I have space. So G, and then this is our G function right here. We should have negative 1 in here. So when G right here, we go to negative 1 and we go up until we hit the G, which is 3. That equals 3. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find G of 0. Okay, G of 0. When we go to 0, when x is 0, we go up. Oh, there's no point there, but that blue line says there's something there. Well, x is 5, or y is 5 there. When x is 0, y is 5. And then we're going to plug that 5 into f. So the f is going to drop down. And we go over to 5, and we're looking at f of x, which is 1. So do the last two on your own, and we'll compare it. Okay, well, you should have gotten 4 for B and negative 2 for D. If you have any questions on that, please ask me in class. All right, so now we are going to do this algebraically. So go ahead and get these functions written down in your notes, and then write these down. Okay, just like before, we are going to find G of 3 and find what that output is first. So my G of 3. So G of 3, well, that means everywhere I see an X and G, I'm going to replace it with a 3. So I get 2 over 3. And then I'm going to take this entire thing and I'm going to put it inside of F. So 2 over 3. And I'm going to switch colors so you can see it. We're going to drop the F down. And I end up with 3 times, and I plus 2. It's easier when I'm writing on the board. Okay, well 3 times 2/3 is equal to 6 over 2. 6 over 2 is, I'm sorry, 3 times 2/3 is 6 over 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, so this equals 2 plus 2, which is equal to 4. So this whole thing equals 4. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find f of 3. So remember how I said it can go either direction. We can do g of f of x, or we can do f of g of x. So we can go back and forth and we'll get different answers. So first we're going to find f of 3. So then that means everywhere I see an x in my f function, I replace it with a 3. So 3 times 3 plus 2, which is 9, plus 2, which is equal to 11. That's my new input. I'm going to put that inside of g. Okay, then we're going to find g. Down. And again, everywhere I see an x in g, I replace it with my new input of 11, which is 2 over 11. And I can't simplify that any further, so then my final answer is just 2 over 11. That's my final answer. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it algebraically with a numeric input. Tomorrow we're going to go a little bit deeper on it. We're going to do our meeting problems. If you have any questions, please come to class with those questions. There is some practice that you can start doing in homework, so you'll need to do pearson.com/mylab, and it will be Unit 2 Functions Part 3. You can start working on that. Now, remember, you can only work on Part 3 once you've gotten 80% of your other 2 homework done. You need to get those done first before you can move on. I hope you have a great day, and I will see all of you later. Thank you.